now. Shehzad Poonawala, national spokesperson of the BJP, is Supriya Shrinate, spokesperson of the Congress, Jasmine Shah, representing the Aam Aadmi Party, Sushmita Dev, member of parliament of the TMC, Rizwan Merchant, lawyer. Jasmine Shah, the CBI has named Mr. Manish Sisodia as accused number 1 in its FIR. The CBI says that liquor trader Sameer Mahendru paid for 5 crore to associates of Delhi Deputy Chief Minister. The FIR says there is illegal gratification and charges include criminal conspiracy and provisions of the Prevention of Corruption Act. Then why not look at this as some kind of investigation? Why has this been linked to the New York Times article?
Maria, first of all, let me state that as Aam Aadmi Party, we are welcoming any kind of an investigation, be it by CBI or ED, just like we have welcomed these investigations in the last 7 years when 150 such cases and raids after raids have been ordered against all the ministers of Aam Aadmi Party, including CM Arvind Kejriwal. The reality is not a single of this case has stood the scrutiny of the court. And that is why we are saying that today CBI and ED are interested in Aam Aadmi Party because of a very clear reason. Over the last 7 years, the health and the education model of the Aam Aadmi Party is being recognized around the world. People of India today know that if there is one leader, one party that can fix the government schooling system or the healthcare system, they don't look at BJP or Congress, they look at Aam Aadmi Party. New York Times, we have not asked New York Times to write this report, but they wrote on the front page, and you look at BJP's response. If it was so inconsequential, why do you have to go and say that this is paid news, this is blah, blah, blah? Your own, our Prime Minister Modi has written an op-ed for New York Times. So if it was so inconsequential, why did you write there? But the reality is that foreign prime ministers, UN secretary generals, even the US First Lady Melania Trump, when she came to India in 2020, she decided to go to a Delhi government school. Now, that is the reason why BJP is wanting to do this raid. Only because they want to stop this juggernaut called Arvind Kejriwal. They want to put a roadblock in the health and education model, and that is why
it is your own government which withdrew the excise policy. The reason why you withdrew it, in your own cabinet note, you talk about how there were revenue losses. Why not look at this as the point of view of pure investigation? Why talk about Delhi model and then link it to your own decision? I mean, the fact that you withdrew the policy is an acceptance that the policy was flawed.
No, it wasn't. And I'll tell you why, Maria. And I'm glad you brought out this important point. And it's important also to talk about health and education, because let's understand the politics behind these rates. That answer on health and education was the answer to the politics behind this rate. Now, why did we withdraw the excise policy? The design of the policy is still today one of the most transparent and progressive policies, excise policies that the country has seen. However, when it came to implementation, and these are facts which are there on files, it's are there on paper, and it will come out in due course, BJP threatened, the CBI and the ED threatened the officials of Delhi government that we will not allow you to auction the sites of this liquor policy. As a result, today, out of the target of 850 liquor shops that were to open, only 250 shops are open in Delhi today. So if you're not going to allow the implementation of the policy, Delhi government is a duly elected government. We have brought out a policy. If you don't like our policy, please become the Delhi government. Please ask people to vote for you and come craft your policies.
Okay.
But once an elected government is implementing a policy, you're putting roadblocks in that, and to ensure that there is no prohibition, and the scenario that we have in Gujarat where hundreds of people die almost every month because there is this 10,000 crore of illicit liquor trade that is happening. We didn't want those circumstances, Maria, in Delhi.
Okay.
And therefore, only as a temporary measure, mind you, only as a temporary measure for 6 months.
I'm going to refer to the cabinet note where you have also spoken about windfall gains to license holders in just a bit. But before that, let's talk about the New York Times article, because that's what you are saying has led to these raids. Shehzad, New York Times is praising Delhi government's policy. It is a matter of huge pride for all of us as a citizen of the country. It should be a matter of pride also for the BJP, because if anything, this is the national capital. Why make it about BJP and Aam Aadmi Party?
Maria, I don't really care two hoots for New York Times or the articles that are published there. Secondly, I didn't want to waste my time on this, but let me tell you, the same article has been published in three so-called shady websites. One is News Next Desk, one is Pakki Khabar, and one is a website called Local Public on 16th of August. In fact, on 11th of August, Kejriwal tweeted a link of News24 India, which turned out to be a website that was linked to one of their karyakartas in Uttarakhand. And their own former friend, Mr. Rifat Javed, has tweeted that and said, this is fake news because no UK general elections are taking place. So these are the Pinocchios of Indian politics who have a fake news factory. Now, let me come to the real substantial issue, because that is what we need to discuss. And I'm privileged to have the Teen Murti of corruption on this panel. TMC, too much corruption, INC, I need commission, and AAP, or paisa. Now let me answer a few questions about them. First of all the specific questions we are asking about the liquor policy, and let me reframe those. Those questions are not being answered by these people. They'll go to education, they'll go to New York Times, they'll go to all kinds of issues. Few specific questions, Jasmine Shah, please answer. The cabinet of Delhi had withdrawn the power from Manish Sisodia to make any decisions on excise policy, yet he goes ahead and makes the following decisions. One, he gives the EMD of 30 crores to L1 to the airport zone licensee, even though the Delhi excise rules say that he should have been forfeited, that L1 should have been forfeited that EMD. 144 crores is waived off for the liquor mafia. At the same time, you're charging poor students higher fees, but in the private institutions, but you are withdrawing 144, giving 144 crore relief to these liquor mafia. 3, Mr. Sisodia on his own increases the number of vents from 2 to more than 2 vents per mohalla. That means masjid ke paas bhi ek vent hoga, mandir ke paas bhi hoga. 4, the license period is unilaterally increased from 1st April 2022 to 31st July 2022. How did you do that?
Okay.
5, no, one second, please, let me complete. There is very important facts I want to show you. This is the, one second. This is the show cause notices issued by his own government. 1, saying that manufacturing companies can't come into retail. 2, blacklisted company Khao Gali was allowed to come into retail. What action was taken on these show cause notices dated 25/10/2021? And 5, he says vendetta. By the way, if this is vendetta, how come Mr. Satyendra Jain, who is languishing in jail for the last 2.5 months, hasn't got any relief? In fact, 3 court orders have come against him. One saying that he's a criminal background person.
Since you have asked questions to all the political parties that are on this panel, Jasmine, a quick response from you, and then I bring in Supriya and Sushmita Dev.
Maria, I was thinking earlier that across the world, the principle of natural justice is innocent till proven guilty. BJP today has made it innocent until you are raided by BJP, CBI or ED. Because that's the against Satyendra Jain. They mentioned Satyendra Jain. Has there been any charge sheet? Has there been any conviction? No.
Yes,
but you already pronounced him guilty. That shows that you have no respect for the law and the legal system of this country. Coming to each and every of your comment that you made very targeted points. Let me remind you, Shahzad, 400 files of Delhi government was scrutinized by the Shunglu committee exactly on all these trumped up charges. There is ye sare khokhle charges, and let me tell you, they'll be thrown out in the courts of law. But on the other end, where you are seeing liquor, if your CBI and ED were actually interested in liquor mafia, why there is no raid happening in Gujarat? Hundreds of people are dying every day because of illicit huge tragedy. Total 10,000 crore is the quantum of liquor trade, illicit liquor trade that happens in Gujarat every year.
Your people are not. Maria, what about the? Let's focus on specifics, Maria. Let's focus on specifics, Maria.
This is what you do. You make issue out of absolutely allegations just so that the country cannot.
Okay, since